So for part 3 here, we are going to configure and play with distributions. So we start here, like we do with all smart contract settings, with deploying a distribution contract. So let's click deploy. This might take a moment. Okay, so we have a distribution contract. Great. So now that we have that, we have a submit distribution button, which is admittedly a little bit hidden. We might want to change that in the user interface, but this is how you submit a distribution. So let's see, how much money do we want to distribute? We've got 2 shareholders. They have 150 shares total. Let's distribute, this will make it easy to see the math. So let's distribute 10,000. And we only have one class of shares at this point, but you do distributions per class. So we select class A, click distribute. Now, like we did in one of the trading examples, we need, in MetaMask has its own interface for approving allowances, right? We need to approve the allowance so that the smart contract has the ability to move money from our wallet. MetaMask makes that a little bit complicated, but we give some instructions here for how to deal with that. And so we have we've approved the allowance, and now we're submitting the distribution. Okay, so that's been distributed. Now, the way this works is there is a time based on the block that based on the block on chain that determines when a distribution is available. And so that's in the process of pending. It probably is actually already available. Let's see. So let's go to one of our investors who should receive distributions. Yeah. So he has 100. So we haven't reached that point in the block yet. So he has 100 shares. Total distribution. So now because he has 1/3 of all the shares, right? Our other investor here has 50, so he has 1/3. This investor has 2/3, 66% roughly. And so he can claim the distribution. That's one. And now we've got to approve that purchase. Or that transaction, sorry. Okay, so we've approved that. And that claim process is happening. But here I'm noticing that we actually also have an opportunity to claim proceeds from a trade we did, right? So in the past, this investor sold, I think, 15 shares. And so as a result, he has the ability to claim the proceeds. So let's also claim that. Okay, cool. So these are claimed. Our other investor here has the other third of the distribution to claim. But we can also see, so I mean, it's a pretty simple thing, right? That's most of the distribution experience. Each distribution has its own line item here. And so you claim each distribution separately. It could be that the investor connects their wallet and finds that they have 2 separate distributions to claim. But each one is sort of a separate object. And here, if we look, we can look at the history of a given investor. I think this was the one who claimed. And we can see that they've claimed their portion of this distribution. Probably this should say how much they claimed. But this investor has claimed, they've received, and therefore have 0 left to claim. This is a great piece of the interface. It allows you to kind of deal with everything related to that specific investor. We've seen it in previous demo videos, but here you can kind of see it starting to be filled out. So you would over time see a record of all the distributions. You can see the transaction hashes for those distributions, and then all of the kind of non-distribution transactions are available here. And so that's that's really it for distributions. They're pretty easy to do.